Hey guys, this is RL. This is going to be video tutorial number 3. And in this video, I'm going to go through the spokes option, show you how to use this particular tool. Okay, what this does is I've included the cover master, the version 5.2. And what I've done is I've just created a link in this program so that you could open it up directly from there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a wheel that can be used by the spokes program. And so just for simplicity, I'm going to go through here. Let's say we want to wheel 13 numbers in a pick 5, and we want to match 4 or 5, provided all 5 numbers are in the group of 13. And then that's where we'd set this. So if all 5 numbers are in this pool of 13, then we will have at least one match 4. Now before we can generate the wheel, you need to click on Configure, then Files, and then come down here to the separator and set that to 44. What this does is this builds a comma delimited file, which is used by the spokes program. Now you have to do this each and every time you open the program because it doesn't save its settings. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a wheel with 13 numbers for a pick 5, match 4 if 5 are in the thing. Okay, first thing we need to do is click Generate, then Start. And you can see that it takes 62 lines to cover that particular wheel. Once you're done, click Finished, then come up here and click File, come down and click Save As, and make sure that you're in the C drive DMP-MG and then the wheel folder. And the way that I name these, and you need to stay with this format, is it's a pick 5 dash, and then it's a 13 number wheel, and it generates the 62 lines. And what you should do is probably, I don't know if this is important, but I usually do it, is always pad if it's less than a 3-digit number, I always pad it with a 0. So after I do that, I click Save, and then once you've done that, you're done with the cover master. Now we're going to load that wheel, and we can see here the 51362 line. We'll load that, and then now the next thing you would need to do would be to pick 13 numbers to play in your wheel. Now this program has a small analysis tool, but it's a ones place digit tool. So you can see here I clicked on 1, and it shows the history for the numbers 1, 11, 21, 31, and 41. You can see the combined hits here, and then you can see it broken down. The idea would be to try to select the numbers from this, but like I said, this is really not a a good way to do it. I'm sure people have different methods they can use to pick the numbers that they want to play. But anyway, what I'm going to do for this illustration is first of all I'm going to add in the 5 numbers from the last game. 119, 22, 27, and 34. Now I'm playing a 13 number wheel here, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to randomly add in numbers until I hit my 13. Now as soon as you hit 13, this up here will switch from a red background to a green background. What this means is I've now got 13 numbers in here. Okay, from this point I have the option, I can, because I may not have put the numbers in numerical order, I can hit the numerical button and it will place them all in order from the lowest to the highest. I can also randomize them, different times to place them in different orders, because that does have an effect on the outcome of the draw. I'll illustrate that doing a couple of runs here. Now, once I've got my 13 numbers in here, I'm ready to generate. I'll go ahead and click that, and you can see that it generated 62 lines using the wheel, the 51362, and the numbers that I placed in here. Now, you don't need to, notice that that whenever it wheeled the lines, it placed them in the temp file. I'll go ahead and click check. And you can see that the wheel guaranteed that if all 5 numbers were in a 13, we would have at least one 4 or 5 match. And we ended up with 3 of them. We had 10 lines that matched 3, 32 that matched 2, 15 that matched 1, and 2 lines that matched 0. Now that's pretty much all there is to this program. I'll go back in one more time. This time I'll set it to a random. I'll regenerate the lines. Now this program erases any lines in the temp file before it creates the new ones. So I'm still going to have 62. I'll check them from this perspective, and it looks like we got pretty close to the same results overall. Now there are a couple of options from this point. We could take and we could run the auto filter, but let me see. First thing I would need to do is open up the temp file, edit, select all, edit copy, exit, and then open up the main file and then edit paste, and then of course just click save. Now I can run the auto filter without really doing anything here, and you can see that it was able to reduce by 6 lines. I'll recheck those, and even though that wasn't much of a reduction, it did manage to save the the big prizes, the match 3 and 4. Now another option that we could do, I'm going to reset all the filters here. And we can see that the groups were in A, D, E, F, and G for the last game. But let's say I just set A to hit. Let's say F. We'll set that to play. We'll block B. And we'll block I. Okay, I've got two groups blocked and 2 in play. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run these 62 lines through these filters to see if I can filter that down. To do that, I'm going to click on the run from file mode. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to navigate to the C drive, DMP-MG, and then files. And then I'm going to select file 2. And as soon as I close that, it's going to run these lines, or these 62 lines, through these filters, and then there's the remaining 9. Now let's check those. We can see that we lost one match 4, and a bunch of match 3s and stuff, but we're down to 9 lines, which is what I would consider within my budget of play. Okay. And clear that. I'm going to erase everything out here. Now what I'm going to do is show you how you can save your setup when you play multiple games. Let's say just for I'm going to reset them all here, and then I'm going to use the auto suggest, or it's just a little algorithm that tries to arrange all the filters. But let's say that that was my setup. I had something like this set, and I wasn't done with my setup, but I was gonna load another game and play it. Well, as soon as I load, it's going to save these settings when you exit. But if I load another game and do it, it's going to load these on startup. And then if I make any changes, then it'll load this, save the settings that I changed. So to get around this, if you remember the keyboard options, we have an export setup and an import setup. So basically what I would do is if I wanted to save this setting, I would export it to a file. And to do that, I would just press E on the keyboard, and it'll come up and it'll ask me to enter in a name for this. And I would maybe call it something like, because we've got a 548 loaded, I'd call it 548 dash 8 dash, let's say third. This is the 8th month, 3rd day. Okay, as soon as you get your name in there, just press enter and it will save that setting. Now let's say that I load another game and I come up here to my MG, go to my games folder, and let's say that I load the 649. I reset all these filters. I do another setup, and I'm not going to do that for sake of the video. And then this time I'll name this a 569 8-3. Press enter and save that. Now let's say that I wanted to go back and do my 548, and you can see that all my settings, I've lost them all except for a few of these here. But I can import those settings just by simply pressing I on the keyboard. It will open up the open file dialog box. I would go down to my setups folder, double click it, and see there's my 548.8.3. Click on it, and then it will load all those previous settings. But anyway, you just need to be aware. You should always, like when you change games, just hit the reset button, because whenever when you load a new game, so that you don't have settings left over from a previous game. But anyway, that's just one way of the program used to save the DMP-MG. It saves the settings for Powerball and it saves the settings for Mega Millions. But in this particular version, because people will be loading, if you consider all over the United States, all over Europe, wherever they're at, there would have to be maybe hundreds of lines in the configuration file, and then the more lines there is, the easier it is to mess up. So with this one, it just saves the settings from the last game. But even with that, if you use your export, and import settings, you can save and go back and then see how you done. I always like to do this because after the game, I can go back and then using the T option on the keyboard to test all my filter settings. It tests everything but the group, or maybe it tests the groups, I'm not sure. But anyway, I can press T on the keyboard and then instantly it'll show me where, any of the filters. I don't believe it tests the group, so you'd have to look at those independently. You can always see a list of the independent digits that hit up here and the groups that hit for the last game updated. But anyway, I think that's pretty much easy for people to understand. There are ways of, people probably have other tools or methods that they can use to select their number for the spokes, but the program is a real simple way to create wheels and then enter your numbers in and then wheel them. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Talk to y'all later.